I'm here to join other concerned citizens from Portland and the surrounding areas to tell our government that violence is not the answer, that there are plenty of other ways to go about managing and resolving conflict that are non-violent, including coming together collaboratively and peacefully with the international community and giving political space to the Syrian citizens and Syrian civil society to finish what they started, to bring peaceful ends by peaceful means. I'm concerned about the way that our government has behaved. I'm concerned about unruly behavior. It's our job as guardians of the state to restrain that kind of behavior, just like any good family member or parent would. What we'd really like to see happen is the international community to come together, including the U.S. government, our government, say that we're calling for an immediate ceasefire between Assad regime, the rebels, the proxy fighters, anybody using violence, because this is not a Assad versus rebels, whose side are we on? We're on the Syrian people's side. And it's the difference between violence and nonviolence. It has nothing to do with politics. This is people dying versus people feeling empowered. And so calling for a ceasefire is a first step in peacekeeping, coming together, bringing the Syrian people to the negotiating table, letting them have that space to rise up once again. They've been marginalized for so long, for so many years by this rebel and proxy faction that they, are practically just waiting basically to come back out into the fray, and we really hope that they can do that. And one way that we can help the Syrian people is to pull our government back, pull them back, give the space, make room. Okay, if you drop bombs on people, that's just gonna make more unrest, more instability, more bloodshed, more tragedy. And we care about the children, we care about the people. We don't want to see any more of that happen.
Well, I'm here obviously because I'm against America's plans for military intervention in Syria. Primarily, I think that, our government has played the drums of war so often, and it seems like way more often than not, particularly in modern history, we're lied to about our government's motivations for going to war. And yet again, we're told that we're going to war for humanitarian reasons, to stop destructive weapons. We were told this in Iraq. We've been told this in Vietnam and many other conflicts before. These reasons that don't pan out, that turn out to not be true, that we find out were knowingly not true. And for me personally, my biggest concern is that we're being lied to again by our government. And how do we know that they're honest when they're telling us that we're just concerned about chemical weapons? And why should we even believe them when they say they're concerned about chemical weapons? During the 80s, we were good buddies with Saddam Hussein, and we sat back and gave the okay for him to gas the Kurdish people in northern Iraq. It wasn't for a decade later when Saddam Hussein suddenly started spitting out anti-US rhetoric that we decided that the chemical weapons were a really bad thing and his stockpiles of supposed nuclear weapons were a bad thing. All of a sudden we cared. And I've sort of come to the conclusion that it seems like we only care about this stuff when it's not our allies who are using it. When our allies use chemical weapons, like Saddam Hussein in Iraq, when Israel uses white phosphorus on the Palestinians, which maybe is not a chemical weapon, but it's certainly a weapon of mass destruction, we just let it slide. We only care when it's people who are our quote-unquote enemies. And I'm not convinced at all that our motivations are humanitarian, more than just trying to create democracy, quote-unquote, so that we can get McDonald's and Nike and all of our precious commodities into Syria. We need new markets.
I'm here because Syria's been a humanitarian tragedy for maybe for generations during the whole Assad regime. And whatever the reasons, if it's just so the military-industrial complex can make more money, use up a few cruise missiles, sell a few more, it's just ridiculous to think that our military can do anything to make the situation better in Syria. The real motives here are to enrich defense contractors and maybe some geopolitical things, but we never know how that's going to work out anyway, so it's just ludicrous to act and cause more death when we can see no good coming from it.
I'm here. I've just been paying attention to mostly what's going on through the news, through alternate media, and everything in between. And I'm just here because the pieces aren't fitting right. the way this war is being led and sold to the American public isn't how it's been in the wars in years past. There's something new. There's something different going on. Everyone here can see it. Numbers don't lie. The thing that we really need to focus on is why is this war happening and why we are going. There's no reason we should. There's no reason the people should be behind this war. All it would be is a war on info now, and that's where the biggest thing will be. The most crucial component of this whole entire war is we need to get the right info out. We can't lie to people, and we need to make sure people know the truth. The 100% we are going, why we are going there, who we are killing, and who we are planning to kill.
We want to spread our message to the people, so let's get moving. Come on, take the streets! Woo!